Yes? Well then, lovely people, it's 2 o'clock. That means I'm going to start with my webinar, Digital Content Creation and Marketing. Let me introduce myself. Niels van der Grift. I'm Dutch. I have a master's degree in New Media and Digital Culture at Utrecht University, which is a great university. Back in 2011, I started my own company, my video production company. It's called MediaMancer. Initially, I did social media advice for like smaller companies in Amsterdam. After a year or two, I added video production because more and more people asked me to do videos for them. So that is from like 2011. Currently, I'm doing my traineeship at the Digital Content Creation at the Talent Institute, which is also in Amsterdam. And that institute really taught me a lot of things. Because let me tell you, we got Utrecht University, which tells you why things are happening, what is happening. But really, I want to know the how. So, like I said, not only about the what and the why, but the how. That means marketing is happening. Why is it happening? But I need to know, how do I make it happen? And this webinar is not necessarily only about digital content creation, but there's a real emphasis on marketing. So let me just jump right in. We're going to talk about several things. And by the way, welcome to everybody here. I've got 70 views. Please do chat. Do comment about anything. If you want to ask me questions, interrupt me, I don't care. I'll just continue my story and then go to you and your questions, and then this is really great. We're going to talk about the new era of digital marketing, grabbing attention through content, which is initially what I think is great right now, and which differs with how we perceived marketing 10 years ago. We got the creation of content, so the content itself. Then we got the content cycle. Now the content cycle, for me, is actually really important. That's also the thing I learned about at the Talent Institute. And well, we'll get there. If I'm going to start this story, we're going to like last an hour. So then we got the means of production, and which is also interesting because back in 2005, YouTube started. You know how big it is right now, but there are a lot of developments which kind of enabled everybody to make content in a really easy way. Just like you can, where we're watching this right now, actually does, start your own stream with the click of a button. Same thing for YouTube back in the day. Click on a button, make a video, upload it on the server, on our service, and then share with everybody. Right now we got share with LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, but that didn't even exist back then, except for Facebook maybe. So I'll talk about that later on. Then we got, for me, I'm like totally into virtual reality and 360 degrees camera function. And I just want to talk about it. I just want to talk with you guys about virtual reality and the marketing purposes of virtual reality, or actually the marketing purposes of a 360 degrees function on your smartphone, albeit for video or photos, and how it's being used right now. And lastly, we got like a practical thing. We got the old versus new marketing tactics, the do's and don'ts. Yeah, that's kind of a concluding part from my side. The new era of digital marketing, which kind of sounds like I'm giving you some clickbait article on Facebook. Check now, this is the new era of digital marketing. But really, it's just how I perceive marketing today. And I have been following all kinds of internet developments. I was one of the few people knowing about YouTube back in the day when we had to call, to get internet. Ding, 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 ding. We didn't have 24/7 online capabilities. Uploading a video costed a lot of dollars if you're going to count the cost from internet with that. You really didn't want to do that. around 2005, 2006, more people had constant access to internet, which means that more people came online, which means more content for everybody to view or read. And a lot of things happened since 2005, and especially if you consider that Facebook was just first founded to give people on Harvard a profile, a personal profile. And right now, Facebook has like over 1 billion profiles, but that's because of the choice. We got Harvard School, then we added another school, and then you know what? Everybody just make a profile. We don't care. It grew, and after like 4 years, pages were being made, pages for companies. Right now, if you go on Facebook, there are a lot of types of pages, profiles, pages for companies, events, fan pages, you name it, they got it. Which is interesting because if we have a page on Facebook right now for a company, you can choose to advertise. Now we all know that we can advertise on Facebook. But when you compare that to 10 years ago or maybe 12 years ago, if you had a company, let's say you had a company in Amsterdam. Amsterdam is a great city. Amsterdam is a really big city in the Netherlands. Bunnik, that's where I come from. Bunnik is next to Utrecht in the Netherlands. And we got someone from Malaysia. Hello to you. Welcome. Let's say you're in a village in Malaysia and you want to know who lives in your region and you want to sell your product in a specific village, hoping that everybody over there is well connected to the internet. You can choose to advertise local on Facebook. And back in the day, maybe you can buy some advertisement space in the paper, which is going to cost you hundreds of dollars, and maybe bigger advertisements, thousands of dollars. So for a small company who doesn't have any form of income yet, that is really expensive. So right now, going to 2017, need some water. It really doesn't cost that much to advertise on Facebook. If you have a small company, you can use 10, 20 euros. I mean, we're in Europe here, so I'm going to tell you everything in euros. You can use 10, 20 euros to just sell your product or maybe get some advertisement on the side of Facebook, or better yet, which we're going to talk about right now, incorporate it into content. So if you've got a video about your own company, if it suits your company, you can spread that video and then just boost the post so you can grab a lot of people's attention. But there's the interesting part. So we got a broad audience from the paper, which is like, I'm going to buy some space. I don't know who's going to look into it except for the audience of the paper, and that's it. In Facebook, you got a lot of variables, like the region, the age, the demographics, so man and woman, people from 20 to 30 years old, interested in football, soccer, anything, gaming, or you name it. That means that we went from a broad audience to a specific audience, which is great for smaller companies for, a chance. Let's just step away from Facebook right now. We got Google AdWords, which means there's a nice, interesting AdWord for you. Maybe you want to sell shoes. Well, if you're going to choose an AdWord where shoes is incorporated or integrated, you can get lots of variables from that AdWord. But you can buy the interest from that word. So if people Google shoes, they might look at your ad going through the results or on the side. Same thing for if people search a lot on shoes. If they're on several other pages, on other marketing or other stores, they can see your ad on the side with a nice picture and everything. So that is another chance for smaller companies to just really spend 50 euros and get maybe more income or more traffic. Then we got a YouTube display ads, which is kind of the same thing, kind of integrated with Google, same system, but then with video. And Sir, can you send the PowerPoint? I have to go in a minute or so, plus the line is poor. I'm on a shared network, that's why. I will send you the PowerPoint after my presentation. I'll look you up. I'll look you up. I'm just gonna check your email and I'm gonna send it to you. Because at the end of my presentation there are lots of do and don'ts, so you can check that. Or send me a message through my profile and you can. Why do we have to use these channels? As you might have noticed, today, and actually the last years, we consume a lot of data. Steve Jobs came with the Apple, the iPhone, back in 2007, 2008. Afterwards, apps were being made. Everyone had a smartphone. After a couple of years more, there's just like internet data bundles, not anymore, not the text or minutes you can call with a person, no, data. 2 gigabytes, right now 5 gigabytes, maybe tomorrow, or like today, 10 gigabytes, and like tomorrow 30 gigabytes a month. And then you can think, wow, that's a lot. But really, the speed, he came with the iPhone, yeah, that's his idea. The speed with which we consume data and actually how big data is amazing. I mean, we look up on YouTube all kinds of videos which are taking a lot of MBs from our bundles. On Facebook we're scrolling like maniacs trying to, oh, I like that, like next one, like next one. All kinds of images are being shared. It's crazy. So I told a company a couple of years ago, like I said, I have my own video production company, and I told them nowadays people just watch. They're not gonna specifically go to your website, read like 3 pages of text and then continue. They just scan, is it interesting? No, get out of here. Next one. So I tell them, or use images, or of course use video, because I'm a video producer. And nowadays that is becoming more interesting for companies. And then I'm actually talking about influence marketing. Influence marketing right now is because there are a lot of channels on YouTube, for example. Those hyperactive teenagers on YouTube, like 18 years old, 19 years old, have a subscriber base of like 800,000, or even PewDiePie, 35 million subscribers. That's twice the population of the Netherlands. So that is crazy. If they make a video, so like take PewDiePie, he's a gamer, he makes videos about games and he just tells his opinion or is going crazy like he always does. If he decides to use a game for a video and he tells that it is great, he got 35 million people just out of the blue, just like that. He makes a video, you reach 35 million people. And then he also leaves a positive testimonial about your game, which means the sales from that game go up. I mean, that is just becoming bigger and bigger because PewDiePie is successful, but then again, he also started from like 2010, I think. Nowadays, everybody thinks he's cool, so everybody's starting a YouTube channel. Oh, look at me, my life is so awesome, look me up on YouTube. There are a lot of specialists, or so self-entitled specialists. But let's take another example. So maybe there's Sarah. Sarah is like 18 years old, has a lot of love for makeup, makes makeup tutorials. So if, call me a brand about makeup. Maybe it's Maybelline. Maybelline. So take Maybelline. If they just decide to give free stuff to these YouTubers and send them products for like, you know what? Use Maybelline and then just recommend it to your audience. If you do that like 5 times and all those YouTubers have like 1 million subscribers, you got 5 million people with no extra cost. It's just giving those people free stuff. You're just gonna make content about your product. And if you're gonna do that the same thing on TV, you're gonna pay like 20,000 euros for like 10 seconds of video on TV. So that's kind of the change I want to talk about right now. Well, I can talk hours about this. I need a glass of water. I'm getting so excited about this. Oh my god. Nice. All right. The creation of content. Now it may seem, maybe you have a new company or a smaller company. You're thinking, what, I need content, but what kind of content do I want to make? But those are exactly the questions I have for you if you want to make content. What is already within your company, your own company? If you just have a company yourself, then you're a one-man show. But maybe you have an existing company right now with 50 employees with copywriting skills. In that case, if you have an accountancy office, make sure that people with copywriting skills make blogs for you. I mean, just put them to work, make some content about the company, maybe not too silly, not like, oh, our company is the greatest on the world, come to us, but maybe just some interesting facts about the business side of accountancy. Maybe tell people why they should choose you, not by necessarily put it in their face, but through other ways. But if you have like a event company, then surely you want to think about using video. Make videos about your own events. Make sure that other new customers can see right away what kind of company you are, what kind of services you provide. Also, there are a lot of companies just going sky high with their goals. Like, oh my god, yeah, we should totally make this awesome video with a production worth of 50,000 euros and then just put it online. Don't do that. Unless you have like $1 million in your bank account, but if you don't, then don't do that. If you're a smaller company, make realistic goals for your company in terms of content. Can you plan it right away? Can you, like, say, if you are watching this stream right today, maybe you can start tomorrow with making new content. If that's so, then please do. But if you're a smaller company with like 5,000 euros income a month, you're not gonna plan a $20,000, euros, whatever production because you don't have the money. Plus, now this is interesting, is your audience hungry for content? And then you might ask me, well, Niels, how do I know if my audience wants content? Well, keep on listening. We have the content cycle. Now, when you're thinking about content, that is exactly what you do, thinking. Maybe you have a team within your company, maybe not. Maybe you're just on your own, doesn't matter. There are a lot of steps I take before I actually execute the plan. So let's say we start with brainstorming. What kind of content do I want? We're going to make a video. What are great ideas? A brainstorm session can be about anything. Just put ideas everywhere, then look at it again, and then choose a couple of realistic goals, like I said, and don't go crazy on everything right away. Just make sure, be critical to yourself. Just choose a couple. Then, if you have chosen a couple of ideas, start the production. So let's say you chose a blog. Put those copywriting people in your company to work. Let them make some content for you, some blogs or interesting facts about the company, or maybe some short text from Facebook with a nice image. Anything. And then there's something. Well, let's just go through the steps. So then you got a blog. Then distribute the blog. It's really hard English. No, it's not. And then, now there's where the traineeship comes in. Then you're going to measure, analyze, report, and then you're going back to brainstorm again. Because if you've measured everything, if you've analyzed everything, then afterwards you want to know, what did it do for me? Which is exactly what my traineeship is about in Amsterdam. It's about going through that cycle. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's just say that this is a cycle. Content marketing cycle. We got listen and buyer personas, decide on the theme and topics, which is actually great because, as you might have known, Some people, is a cycle your cycle? No, it's not. I wish it was my cycle, but I'm that kind of person that just goes through Google, goes through articles, and then just steals an image and then just put it in my own presentation. I'm sorry. Could have made it in Photoshop though, but that's exactly my point. This is a cycle, but there are a lot of cycles. So this is another one. We'll get there. If you're going to decide on a theme or a topic, you might want to go for something that is recently happened. You might have known the video about Trump. Here in the Netherlands we have a show, Zondag with Arjen. He made a video for President Donald Trump, talking about how great the Netherlands is. So apparently the team of Arjen Lubach knew, hey, you know what? Right now Trump is a hot topic. We're going to make content about Trump. And they did. They made a great video about how great the Netherlands is, of course with a lot of humor in it. And it just went viral like crazy. I'm talking about this video. Welcome to this introduction video about the Netherlands. All, you know, like Trump presents, like with his hands and everything. It's great. After that, a lot of countries followed the Netherlands. So Italy made its own version, France made its own version, maybe even Malaysia made its own version. And so that is like a way to decide which kind of content you're going to make and what the topic of your content is. Going back through the cycle, you create the content. Now there's a problem right here, because maybe you're thinking about creating content, but like in 2017 there are a lot of companies just stopping right here. They make content and just, you know what, screw that, I'm just going to put it online and I'll look who is going to watch it. I'm not going to name some names. I'm just going to keep it discreet. I had some clients with my own production company, and let's say the company has 10,000 euros budget. So they decide to make some videos about some of the stuff going on in their own company. They got 10,000 euros. They're just going to spend all of that, including man hours, including like employees working on it, on the creation of content. You know what, we've got 10,000 euros, we're going to spend all those euros on one project, and that's it. Make a video for 10,000 euros, put it on YouTube, and let's just see who watches it. So a lot of companies are actually doing this. They're just going to quit right there. Create content, whatever. Don't do that, please. Finish the cycle. This is another one. Finish the cycle. I made some videos. I put them on YouTube for them, for the companies. After a year I looked and I saw multiple projects. So I saw my own videos and I gave them some tips. Especially if you want a practical advice, if you make a YouTube video, please do add tags. Make sure your description is great. Tell people what the video is about. Make a trigger. Anything. A great title. Not just some file name .mp4. Make a great title, make description, and then tags, because tags are important for YouTube to actually connect all kinds of videos about the same topics. My own videos were being viewed on YouTube quite well. Let's say 10,000 views. And other videos, which were even more expensive than my videos to make, production worth, were viewed like maybe 80 times. 80, 100 times, or maybe 120 views, I don't care. And I'm like, what? Then you just spend like 15,000 euros on a project, and then just because you don't know how YouTube works, you're just going to put it on there, quit the cycle, create it, and then just leave it there. Don't. Please do, hello? Please promote your content. So if you have a Facebook page, link your video to your Facebook page. Don't create an island, with each one of the don'ts at the end of my presentation. Spoiler alert. And then there's a new kind of field which I actually learned at the traineeship or at the Talent Institute. I learned how to do that. Measure and evaluate. People, please measure and evaluate. I mean, even on YouTube, there are a lot of tools which you can view how many minutes people have viewed your video. If you have an introduction, let's say you make a video 1 minute long and you have a 15 seconds introduction and people are just going to click away after 5 seconds, please make a new introduction for your video. So there are a lot of tools within YouTube to measure the behavior of your own viewers. There are a lot of tools to measure all kinds of content. If you're making a blog, please look on your maybe WordPress or Google Analytics, which is a great tool to use. Use it to know how long people are on your page. Where do they just stop interacting with your page? Is your bounce rate really high? There are a lot of learnings that most companies don't know about. And that is maybe something that as a smaller company you can just really work on right away. So like right now after the presentation. Because money is being thrown away. This is what I'm going to say about my clients. I mean, I hope they throw away the money to me, but you know what? That's not what we're here for. There is a lot of other models. So this I took this from an article. Maybe next time I should actually put in the link to the article. That'd be great. Because afterwards, so let's talk about measure and evaluate again. If you measure and evaluate, you get some learnings, and then you can adapt. So like I said, if you have a video and a lot of people just don't like the introduction and just click away after 5 seconds, then please consider changing your introduction. So you adapt to the information you got, the new information you got, because you measured it, you evaluated it. We're going to a new model. This is another content marketing strategy model, which is kind of the same. Like I said, there are a lot of models on the internet. It doesn't matter which kind of way you present it. Again, promote, convert, create content, and through creating content you can actually get people to or request a proposal or take action or eventually buy a product. So then we got the cycle again, but then let's talk about the business side. We got an idea, the brainstorm session. We got content targeting, so that means who's your persona, who's going to read your content or watch your content. Then they say just 2 things, select format and select channel. Not necessarily true, because if you have a photo, you're not going to put it in a blog. You're going to might use Instagram. If you're just a company using a lot of photos, consider Instagram. If you have a company using a lot of videos, please do build a YouTube channel, not a blog channel. And then again, measure. And then there's a word where a lot of Talent Institute people love, which is iterate. Please be iterative. Iterate, which means just reinvent yourself. Just learn from what you've done, adapt, make a new experiment, like a new content. And then if you have made new content, maybe there's another thing, another point where the content is not being viewed, or optimize it, Let's just talk about the business side. So right now we got 4 stages, and awareness, interest, desire, and action. Awareness is a big challenge, but that is the mass. I mean, there are a lot of people hopefully viewing your articles. Articles, advertisements, webinars, like this one, podcasts, although I'm not just selling you some service or product, unless you go to mediamanager.nl right now. No, I'm kidding. Paid search and landing pages. You might want to attract a lot of people to your pages and content. You need to be proactive and just let people know that you exist. And that is one mistake I'm willing to admit I've made it with my own company. I started back in 2011. I just saw that I just have 30 viewers. Welcome everybody, nice. Also, just a quick promotion within my stream. Please do support Knowledge for Children. There's a donate button. Please do. Every kind of add income for the stream goes to Knowledge for Children. Knowledge should be available for all. This is a deal I just support. I founded my company in 2011, and 2 years ago I thought of myself, I'm not being really productive right now. If you have a small company, if you're on your own, then you just need to make sure that every month you have a certain income. If you have a house, a wife, and maybe kids, you need money to sustain yourself. And especially with video production, there are not always clients wanting videos from you every month. It might be just one big project. You're moving on to the next. So you need to attract new clients. But then again, the clients do need to be aware that you exist. You can use all kinds of strategies to create awareness. So like it says in this model, articles, advertisements, webinars, podcasts, paid search, landing pages. Make content. So I made a show reel about my company, what it does. I just put it on YouTube. I made sure that everybody on my social network has seen it. I promoted some posts on Facebook, but apparently I didn't do it enough because I didn't have enough clients to sustain myself. Please do that. So learn from my mistake. Please do that for your own company. Then we got web content. The next stage, interest. So let's just go with this. So we got awareness, where to start. Oh, by the way, this is a great one. Huh, great, Niels. Know your audience. So let's say you're an event company and you're just creating events for like 20, 30 years old. 20, 30-year-old people, whatever. Then that is your audience. And you know that those people are just going to watch everything online. They're just going to take their smartphone, look at a video, and just go on with their lives. So, if you know your audience, you know exactly what type of content you should make. If you have an older audience, let's say 60-year-olds, they're not going to be on their smartphone all day. Sorry, I think my stream just ended or something. No, they didn't. Alright. Sorry. When do they want the content? So, of course you're not going to send a newsletter during the night. I mean, maybe if let's say working people just want to watch your content. If they're on work, they're not going to view your content unless they're not being really productive and they're just going through their emails, private emails. So you might want to schedule your post or content before they go to work, like 7 a.m., 8 a.m., or after work. So they come home from work, not 4 p.m. because then they're on their way to home, or 5 p.m. because they just got home, they're just not going to check it right away. So maybe somewhere during the night. Or, so during the night, like 8 p.m. I say this is important because this means this is applicable to all kinds of content. You can post a video on YouTube, sure, but do think about when you communicate that there is a video. There are a lot of tools, by the way. So let's say you use a newsletter. You can see open rate. So you can see which people have opened my email, which people have actually clicked through the email. Experiment with it. Like once send it at 3 p.m. Next time send it at 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. But depending on your audience. Like I said, research the hours and dates by just experimenting the lean way. If you have an event company, please consider advertising on Friday and Saturday or Thursday, but not on Monday, because people are not going to go and thinking about events for the weekend on Monday. They just got the Monday. They're like, oh, I'm actually done with work. Get out. They're not going to think about the weekend. The weekend is so far away right now. But when it's Thursday or Friday, they're like, oh, weekend is coming. I want to plan some stuff with my friends. I'm just going to look for events. If you just advertise on those hours and those days, then it should all be fine. I think that my stream just went offline and then online again. So sorry for the inconvenience, by the way. Moving on. So, like I said about the event company, if you have an event company, make sure you choose the right days to promote your content. And there are a lot of articles online, by the way, on Google, telling you which hours you should get, how many users are active on Twitter during the day. Like there's a peak at 3 p.m., there's a peak at 12 p.m. because it's lunch. So do research that on the internet and also experiment yourself. Desire, now that is a really interesting point, desire. Close to interest, but essential difference. Because you have to make people want your content. Like I said, interest is like, finally, a solution to all your problems. And the desire shows the problems and shows how the solution works. So it makes people want the solution, which is like making them go closer to the actual conversion. That can be ebooks, white papers, brochures, microsites. I mean, brochures are really an old style, but really, well, whatever. Maybe again a video about your service or anything that makes them want your service. And then we got action. And now action is one of the last challenges to make people click something. Call to action in your newsletter. Sign up right here. Conversion, actually people signing up. You can use e-commerce for that. Buy this product right now. You got 24 hours to buy the product and then the sale goes away. Make people make people want your product. If you put in a 24-hour sale, then make sure that people buy within those 24 hours. Use Google Analytics, again, to actually see which people are interacting with your content. Let's say you got an email, and your email is so freaking long that people are not even considering clicking your call to action at the end of the email. So make sure that people know what they're getting into at the beginning of the email and don't extend the time they need to actually click on something. Same goes for websites, by the way. If you're creating a website and you can use Google Analytics to actually look at that, when are they going to interact with your website? How many buttons are there for them to interact with? Are they gone after 1 second or are they gone after 5 seconds? They can be gone after 5 seconds depending on your content. If you have a problem on your website and then an answer, and people got their answer, they're gone after 5 seconds, but they got their answer, so maybe you should integrate a call to action within the website. You know, if you want to know more, click here. Bam, you got their email. Email marketing, nice. So this can be for everything, like buy a product, sign up for a newsletter, watch a video, share your tweets. All kinds of actions which help you grow your business. So, or sell a product. Or create more awareness. Then we got the cycle again, because then you're going to awareness again. Moving on. This is great. This is one of my things I'm just so interesting to talk about. Like I said, since 2005, great things have been going on. All kinds of channels. It's not for nothing that Time chose you on their cover. You are the person of the year. They just showed a computer monitor with the interface of YouTube. Yes, you. You control the information age. Welcome to your world. And that is exactly what has been going on. People just had all kinds of means to produce content. So we got more servers. I mean, Google tripled their service within a short amount of time. People started to create videos online. People started to share all kinds of information on Facebook. People made blogs with affiliate marketing to gather some money, earn some money online. But there's one specific thing I find interesting, which is the discussion of the professional and the amateur. Wow. And the amateur. And I just call it the age of amateuristic professionalism. Because I learned myself how to produce videos. I didn't actually go to a school to learn how to edit videos. I didn't go to a school to know how to use a camera. Back in 2001, 2002, Apple computers were being used to make videos. But really, seriously, to be a video producer in 2001 costs you a lot of money. I mean, like a lot. You needed a Apple computer, 2,000 euros. You needed a camera with decent images, 3,000 euros. Did we have euros back in 2001? We didn't. So let's say it's 2002. And seriously, to become a video producer in 2002, 2003, you needed like thousands of euros. Right now, you can just buy a camera, maybe even a webcam, and a microphone. That's it. Make some great content. Now, of course, there are a lot of bad videos on YouTube, whatever. But it's really interesting that this has empowered a certain generation of people to make a lot of content. And a lot of great content too. Because maybe PewDiePie can be annoying. But PewDiePie made really interesting videos. He has his own editing style. People found ways to make budget movies. So, if you want a movie being made, you need like 10,000 euros to make a nice production, then you put it on YouTube, make sure enough people look at it, and then after a couple of years after YouTube launched, they introduced a way to earn money through making videos. And that is really interesting because first, let's say that amateurs are going to make professional looking productions, but they're still amateurs because they don't have a certificate. They didn't go to a school, they don't have a degree or something, they just make professional stuff. But they're actually amateurs. But since you can earn money with YouTube, you can consider them a professional again because that's how they earn money. So there right now, I'm 26-year-old, there are right now 20-year-olds just making money like way more than I do in a month by just making some videos about their poop in the toilet or something, or I don't know how great their day is. We got a guy in the Netherlands called Enzo Knol. Oh, look at me, I'm so funny. Oh, look at my girlfriend. 500,000 views. People, get a life. Look at some interesting videos online. Anyways, a little bit of frustration right there, but it's actually going about the discussion that people are becoming professional because the production, there's less money needed to make professional productions. I have editing software, Adobe Premiere Pro. I have a camera, 1,000 euros, some nice microphone, 200 euros. That's it. I can make content for the rest of 2017 and 18. I can make this webinar. I just use OBS on a laptop. That's it. If seriously, this was not possible like 30 years ago. Seriously, you want a computer? Pfft, who has a computer right now? Nobody had a computer. So, because the amount of money right now, so almost no money, that makes sure that everybody can make content. So that is the means of production. I just wanted to talk about that. It's really it's great. I wanted to talk about Twitch. Now maybe a little lesson of history for UCAN.tv. Twitch is a streaming platform for gamers. Gamers can share their experiences online. Made the best headshots, most interesting kill cams ever. The most interesting online matches. And Twitch grew a lot. And right now there are people on Twitch making the most awesome streams ever. So let's say that this is a simple one. So you see me at the right corner. And then you see my text from my presentation. That's it. Those people just make their own, like almost a TV production. They got themselves with a green screen behind their back. Looks like they're floating in the screen. Lots of information going on. This just makes sure that my generation of 26-year-olds are not going to watch TV ever again. They just tune in on Twitch. They get their entertainment for the night, and that's it. But Twitch is actually an example of how this development of professionals and amateurs went, because people just started with a simple stream, and right now if you look like years ahead, people have like professional looking streams, earning money, also donations. Like our donations go to a really nice charity called Knowledge for Children. But seriously, On Twitch, there are a lot of streams just go, people giving to us $2,000. Oh, you know what? Buy yourself a computer. Look, rich people just watching streams randomly. Again, why I'm not doing this? Why are you not doing this? No, it's great to see Twitch grow like that. And right now we got youcan.tv. We hope to make the same kind of development. So right now it's really simple to start a stream. And you can make it, you know, the greater you want your production to be, you can do it here on YouTube. You can. Oh, I'm sorry. There are a lot of means of production. Let's just start with copywriting. So in 2000 and 2001, with the internet bubble, there were a lot of blogs. I mean, it was really simple to just put some text on a website, let people go to the website, because then again, in that time and era, there were just a couple of websites, so there's a lot of audience and just a couple of websites. It wasn't really hard to gain some audience. You got MailChimp nowadays. There are 1,000 tools to really make newsletters, but the one I know about is MailChimp, and it's actually being the most used, I think, right now. We got images. Again, I mean, if you want to shoot some images outside, make some photos outside, you don't need a camera for 4,000 euros. You got one for 900 euros. You can make some great images and sell them to a company. Also, Photoshop is really, well, it's not cheap, but then again, not as expensive as 10 years ago. Video, so that's applicable to me. Video camera with external microphone, because one little piece of advice: if you're making videos, please consider the right image, but also the right audio. If your audio is shitty, do not make a video. Video editing software and standard apps on the phones. Like I said, the iPhone came in 2008, or Steve Jobs, sorry, when it came with the iPhone. And that means that everybody with a smartphone can produce all kinds of content. We got a camera on our iPhone, so that means we can shoot videos whenever we want to. Everybody has a camera for making photos outside. They can even edit a video on their iPhone and then put it on Instagram. And that's what I said with no threshold. There is no threshold. It's becoming easier and easier to make content for everybody. That means for you too. If you have your own company, just use these tools online. There are like 1,000 tools to make productions. And they're free. You don't have to spend 6,000 euros on a software program anymore. It's 2017, people. Everything is possible. Then we go to a discussion, like I said, I had with a couple of clients of my company. There are platforms for everything. The bigger ones being, of course, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, maybe even Tumblr. We used to have DeviantArt for all the kinds of creative content. Please use them and don't make your own platform. I seriously had an organization, a client of mine. They created their own video platform. And why? Because YouTube decided, with the transition or the integration of the two companies with Google, that all the songs and all the kinds of materials being used to make videos are copyrighted. So, of course, copyright is essentially a great thing, because if somebody owns music, they should be, at least credited for it. But it also means that if I put music here on my stream from Jay-Z, I have to pay Jay-Z money for using his music. So companies don't want that. Companies want to show their videos without restrictions. Now their solution was make our own platform. Let's just spend 90,000 euros on a new platform to make, in terms of hours of employees, and then just put our videos over there. And I'm like, pardon my French, but I'm like, what the fuck? Why are you doing this? Why are you making your own platform? If there's YouTube, you got YouTube, like 1.5 billion people watching videos online during, let's say, 2011. In a month, you're just going to create a new platform, put videos on it, and then hope that people stumble upon your platform and just watch your videos, think that's interesting. And then what? If they think it's interesting, they have no action to actually do something, because they can't share it on YouTube because there's no social link. What I'm trying to say here is that please do not make an island. That means that if you're running a blog, don't just write the blog. Make sure that your blog is connected to other websites, to other platforms, to maybe Tumblr, maybe Facebook, maybe Instagram. You can post a video or an image from your blog online and then just put the link in your biography. Make sure that people stumble upon your article. So, as I show here in my presentation, please, yes, all connected, all the kinds of content, and no, do not make just one link or no link at all, because we live in 2017 where all kinds of content is being made all around us. There are a million articles online every day. Why should I visit your article? So make that a thing for yourself. Make a plan. So what I do with the companies of my own video production companies, we got the video, but what happens after the video? So you're gonna make it, you're gonna put it online, and cheers. You're gonna put it online. Which tags are you going to use? Which articles are you going to use? You know, who's your audience? Who are you going to show it to? Sorry, other universities or just students or employees or I don't know. Make a plan, just like a distribution plan. What kind of platforms are going to use? I don't know what time I have. Man, am I really that? Oh, I'm almost done. People, let's just go through it. We got virtual reality and 360 degrees marketing. Now, 360 degrees marketing as a term means that there's marketing all around you. What I mean is actually the literal 360 degrees camera. So, let's say virtual reality was a 90s dream. So, again, things were things were expensive, you know, a lot of money. Right now you can buy Oculus Rift for 700 euros and then we can watch all around us have great applications. The interesting thing about virtual reality right now is that people can buy it. There's a mass audience, there are a lot of customers right now. But our phones can be used to make 360 degrees videos. There are 360 degrees cameras. And that gives us new ways to promote our content. I mean, if you're making a video, let's say you're an event company yet again, and you just want to show people who are going to your event next year that it is awesome right now, buy a 360 degrees camera. Just, I mean, in your hand there's a camera, but actually just holding your audience, show them how great your event is. And right now on Facebook, I'll just show you quickly. Can I do that? Or maybe you should look it up yourself. There was a video for Star Wars, episode number 7, Force Awakens. Great, after like 20 years, okay, maybe 10, 13 years, finally there's another Star Wars movie. How are we going to promote it? So at the end of 2015, Facebook introduced a new function to show 360 degrees movies and pictures. Star Wars decided to make a really awesome video production and make it 360 degrees watchable. So that means you have your phone, you can look around you, and then you just could follow the man inside a pod racing through another planet, which is really fun way to let your people, to let your audience engage with your own brand or content. But I can imagine you're not LucasArts, you know, the film company. Maybe you're, like again, you're an event company or also an exposition or a traveling agency. If you're a traveling agency, then maybe you can use that to promote certain locations in the world. Look at the temple right here. Isn't it awesome? Which brings me to the last part of my webinar. We got, I mean, essentially 360 degrees camera and everything is a new marketing tactic. There are still old marketing tactics, and I had this discussion this morning actually. There are old marketing tactics that still work. And I'm actually talking about ancient technologies, like 20 years old is ancient in this world. Ancient technologies still work like email marketing, but are really easy nowadays. So MailChimp just shows you the open rate, click-through rate. Want to build an email? Use your layout. Here are blocks. Put it in like some Lego thing. You don't need to code it. You don't need HTML to build it. Everybody can use it. We don't have much time left, but little piece of advice. subject line should trigger an emotion or action. If you want to go making emails, be sure that your subject line is interesting enough. That can make the difference if the open rate is 10% or 30%. Let's just say that 25% is pretty good. You might want to, depends on how many people are subscribed. Also, call to actions within your email should be at the right place with the right copywriting. I already mentioned that earlier in the webinar. So make sure that people can click and interact with your email. Don't go 5 pages before they eventually hit a button with subscribe here. Oh, actually, they already subscribed. Buy this product here, or go to our website and just sign up for a new webinar. Make sure that it's easy and be like smaller portions of text, please. Images are your friend, my friends, because who wants to just read text? Nobody just wants to read text. Make sure you got a nice header. Make sure you got a nice portion of text and then an image to break up the text. And experiment with everything. Now that is also a thing in a cycle with measure and evaluate. Please do experiment, because if you have measured that people are not reading your newsletter because you send it at 3 a.m. in the night, okay, I don't know who does that, but anyway, you discover that a certain time of the day didn't work, please consider choosing another hour of the day, and then maybe it might work. So like, again, that's kind of the lean startup way, by the way. This experiment, learn from your experience, learn from the results, make a new experiment, learn from your results again, and iterate. Such a great word, iterate. Reinvent yourself. Reinvent your company. Let's talk about some practical things, and I think a lot of people are just waiting for this. Like, Niels, get on with your webinar. Just go to the things we can do right now. Do's, people. Measure. Again, just measure. Gather the learnings, and please, and this is really important, please plan the feedback moment. So, maybe you're an employee and you have like 3 levels in the hierarchy before you have the person going through the communications about the company. Make an analysis of your things, of the things you have learned, or actually better yet, make a document about the analysis and then turn it into a to-do list or something. And if they are just hard to reach, those people within your company, then if you plan to make anything, how many more slides? Well, like 3, 4. Oh. All right. Plan Facebook moments, meaning, I don't know, VR in the 90s dream. Sorry, it's being apropos, from apropos. Let's just talk about the measure. Plan the feedback moment. Seriously, just make sure that they have attention for the things you have learned. So if like Tuesday we're going to talk about the content itself, then the Thursday after that, or the week after that, let's talk about how it went. How did your production perform? Reiterate again, or iterate, I don't know if it's reiterate, but do not leave your unique selling point. I thought about this yesterday, how am I going to tell this to people, your USP. Like if you're, let's say you're a restaurant, and you know that a lot of people want to stay at home, and they don't want to go to your restaurant, then you could consider just bringing it to them. However, don't go from a restaurant to some t-shirt pop-up store. A bit of an exaggerating example, but do not leave your unique selling points. If you're making pizza, don't make fries, but just change the toppings, you know? Just experiment within your own company. If you don't have a big budget, make specific ads. Go to Facebook and really just focus on your audience, and please look at who is your audience. And then ask people to say something about your company, which is another thing I'm just going to mention in a bit. Plan some brainstorm sessions like I told you. Plan the feedback moment. Use the popular platforms if you're not tech savvy. So back in the day we had to be savvy to have a website. Right now it can still be complex for a lot of people, but really YouTube kind of it's being made easier throughout the years, and right now it's just an upload button, and then you can put in the information. Same goes for MailChimp. I mean, it made newsletters so easy to make. I mean, 10 years ago, I couldn't really make a nice email because I know a lot about HTML and codes. And right now, it's just, oh, drop the blocker right over here. Oh, drop the header right over here. Ta-da, email. And also, we're going to measure everything for you. Like back in the day, you have to use a plugin yourself or external software. So, and use Facebook to reach a lot of people easily. First off, use your own network, and then hope that it spreads like organically, in an organic way, in a paid way. Gather information from your customers or clients. Now that is an interesting, one of the last things I'm going to talk about. I have an own website with friends called Xbox Nederland, which is a website about Xbox here in the Netherlands. 2 weeks ago, we thought, you know what, if we make a survey and let people fill in a survey, maybe we can learn something about our own audience. So we made a deal with another guy, like if you give us a game, maybe people will fill in the survey if they can win the game. 110 people filled in the survey and they told us exactly what they want. So some people said, I want news on a daily basis, but also 40% of the people told me, we want news on a weekly basis. So they got me thinking, maybe I should make a newsletter for those people, just as a quick roundup of all the articles in that week that were popular. Really gather information of your own clients in the form of a Google form, which is really easy to make, or a survey. Again, use your own social network, which is kind of like an open door. Make partnerships with other companies, online and offline. Offline, like in the Middle Ages, I have someone who sells fish and I've got someone who sells meat. Let's partner up. Or online, gather or approach people online on LinkedIn. Maybe if somebody has an event company or traveling agency or can help you in any other way, connect. Maybe you can be mentioned in their newsletter, which goes out to 40,000 people or not. Don'ts. That is something I really like to tell people. No, I'm kidding. Don't stop your effort after the creation of content. So like I said, do not quit the cycle. Just do not stop. We made our content, now it's over. Just create your content and then measure it. Promote it first, by the way. Make sure it's being connected to all kinds of platforms. Then just measure it. Don't give up after a couple of experiments. So if you've seen that my newsletter has been opened, like it has an open rate of 10%, consider doing another experiment. Going to 20 maybe, or maybe after 20 it goes to 10 again. Then you know that that hour doesn't work, or that day doesn't work. Or maybe your newsletter hasn't enough call to actions. So keep experimenting. Don't spend money on traditional promotion platforms if you do not have the money for it. Like I said at the beginning of my webinar, please do not spend 5,000 euros on the papers if you don't have it. Just spend 30 euros on Facebook. But also that may be an open door. Don't create an island. I've said that like 5 times in my webinar before. Connect, yet again. Don't make an island. Don't make people go to your website by typing in the URL. Make sure they go there through Facebook or LinkedIn. Don't create a bubble. So that means do not go making content on your own assumption that people would like it. I've got other companies, clients of mine, who think, oh, this is going to be great. I'm going to make a video at 10,000 euros. Everybody's going to watch it. Not everybody's going to watch it. So don't assume that your content is great. Yet again, how can you make those assumptions go away? By measuring things. Evaluate the results. If your video is so great, according to yourself, watch when people are quitting your video. And then you'll discover that maybe your introduction is long or not good, or maybe even great because they keep on watching. But you do not know how your content performs if you do not measure or evaluate it, which means you're creating your own bubble of assumptions. Do not underestimate numbers or platforms like Google Analytics. Because if you have Google Analytics, you can show, well, first off, it shows you which articles are popular. But it also shows you from which platforms they're coming. Social platforms, are they coming from a newsletter, an ad campaign on Google AdWords? You might want to know everything about that. If there's a funnel going through social to your article, but people on their way in are quitting, then maybe there's not going something right in the process. Maybe there's an ad block in them, or maybe you have to scroll too much to get to the call to action button. All those things can be measured in Google Analytics. So you might want to consider researching that, and maybe consider making a Google Analytics exam. It's all online for free. I'm just making some, I'm friends with Google. No, I'm not. Don't use, is my last piece of advice, I think. Yeah. Don't use fancy 360 degrees cameras and technologies if it doesn't work with your company or type of service. If you're an accountancy office, don't go making 360 degrees videos of how your employees are helping clients or customers. It's not interesting for people. May seem like an open door yet again, but even I just want to say that don't go use all kinds of technologies because they just exist. I mean, focus on certain platforms there are right now. Focus your attention on that, or on them, or on those. And don't go use all kinds of technologies which eventually may not suit with your company. But that depends on your company. Maybe you're an event company, and then yet again you can use all those new things. My conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, 35 viewers, do or do not, there is no try. And for the Star Wars fans, you know that's Yoda. Or in a famous slogan by Nike, just do it. Shia LaBeouf going right there. But don't rush it. So do it. Please do experiment. Please just make a plan for yourself. Make content. If the content doesn't work, do not quit. Just try again with different kinds of content. You know, making content is really really fun thing to do, but you also need to know how to distribute everything. You can watch my webinar again if you want. It's on ucan.tv, so really you can just watch it hours after. I don't think you're going to do that, but well, anyway. But don't rush it. So don't go like, oh, this should be enough, this article, I'm just going to put it online. Don't put it online if it's not great again. Great again, look at me. Quoting Trump and shit. Don't put it online just like that. Maybe if you do it for your company, let your other employees look at it and then talk about it. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today. If you have any questions, put them in the chat. I want to thank ucan.tv for giving me this opportunity to do this webinar. And I want to tell you guys to please watch the other streams this week. I know that there at the end of the week there's a stream about wine tasting. That means bring your own alcohol on Friday afternoon. And donate. It goes to Knowledge for Children, which is a charity for children in Uganda. Right now they're using one book per 15 children. We want to have, every child should have a book. So we're just going for that goal. Help all the children in Uganda. Watch all the streams, and please enlighten yourself with all knowledge. I mean, ucan.tv is really all about connecting the world's business knowledge, but also knowledge should be available to all.